Hey guys, this is ExpShare, and I'm going to be back with another Starcraft 2 Hearthstone 1v1. This time it's going to be between Liquid HerO spawning down in the bottom right side, and in the bottom left side it is going to be none other than the world famous Barcode. Now, because he's Barcode, I don't actually know who he is, so I'm just going to be referring to him as either Barcode or the Zerg player. Anyways, the map is going to be Whirlwind LE once again, which the map in the last video that I cast didn't come that much into play because it was a Protoss. It was a fairly short game. Didn't really get to see any of the features that this map utilized very well. But looking at the map, I have to say this map pretty much favors Zerg because Protoss prefers tight choke points and a lot of ramps and high ground to defend them. And this map doesn't really have a whole lot of it. It does have ramps, it does have something of a choke point here, has a choke point here, but it also has these destructible rocks which can be broken down to allow for fairly quick access into these bases. And there's a lot of attack paths all around this map. There's a lot of this high ground that nothing else can make use of besides pretty much overlords. And so that's why I believe this map favors Zerg ever so slightly. However, don't count out Liquid HerO. He is an amazing player. He is a Korean, which, I mean, goes without saying that Koreans who play Starcraft are generally pretty good. He is going to be going for a gateway first. This is not exactly what I would expect for him to be going versus a Zerg player. Typically, you would throw down a pylon, forge, cannon. You go for a typical forge fast expand. But a one gate expand is also pretty standard versus Zerg. Anyways, Barcode is going to be going for a very early third base. This third base is before the 4-minute mark, which is not something that I have seen very often. He does have it on the way before his natural is even complete, which that's quite something. He does have spawning pool on the way, but because of this third base, that spawning pool is going to be extremely delayed. So if HerO actually tries to go for any kind of early pressure, that could pay off for him a bunch, because really Barcode isn't going to be having that much to defend against it. But this game was actually played on April Fool's Day, if you're wondering why the drones and probes are all Warhounds. That was something that Blizzard did. They decided that we are going to bring that Warhound for just one day. April Fools, and all the workers are going to be Warhounds for that day. So there's just randomly plays floating out there of that happening. Now the expansion is going to be dying down for HerO, which is after Gate and Cyber, which is also a pretty standard way of doing things. Something that I don't really believe. Actually, I don't know why HerO's not walling here. He does have what appears to be a tight wall in, protecting his mineral line from any, circling run bys. This Overlord is going to get taken out, but that is pretty much what a Zerg player expects to happen. He is going to bounce off of that Cyber Core and fall to his death. Anyways, there are going to be a couple things trying to come into the base, but with the double gateways and the pylon, and there's probably going to be something else thrown down here, maybe a forge pretty soon. Yes, it is the good old forge. This is generally the kind of walling you're going to expect down here. You're going to have the forge, you're going to have gateway, maybe if you forge fast expand, you're going to have a cyber core down here, and you're going to have a cannon behind it to protect the wall in from Zerglings. But anyways, it does look like there's going to be an attack from 2 stalkers and a mothership core running into the third base over here. The mothership core might go down if it's not careful, but if with proper micro, he should be able to save that. Stalker's gonna have to get down there, because Lings are pretty good. These Lings do have the new skin, which looks like the Swarmling upgrade from the campaign when they don't have speed, but when they get that metabolic boost upgrade, they then start to look like the Raptor strain, which I think is pretty awesome because both of those strains are really, really good. They're really overpowered in the campaign, and yeah, they're really just something that I'm glad they added to multiplayer, even if it's just the skins, because they look really awesome, especially those Raptors, which you'll see in just a little bit when this metabolic boost finishes up. There it is. They now have giant wings on their backs. But it looks like some Zealots are going to be running in here. They're going to get a few Zergling kills, but they are going to get cleaned up. Mothership Core is going to go to town on the Zerglings. Is going to mass recall the Sentry out of there, which is going to be... I think that was a Sentry. Yes, that is a Sentry. Sentry is not a unit you want to be losing in position, but the Lings have made it through the wall in, which was not guarded well by that probe. And so they are going to be in the main base. They're going to be running in, trying to kill a whole bunch of probes, but the Stalkers are here. They should be able to clean this up. And so I would say that looking at units lost tab, the Zerg player has lost, at this point, a lot more than the Protoss. And that is going to be favoring Protoss because really, looking at the income, HerO is not all that far behind, I would say. He's actually ahead in the gas income, which he is Protoss, so that's to be expected. He's going to be warping in 2 more sentries, but there's another sentries. He should be able to force field this pretty easily if anything tries to get in. But going back over to the second tab, roaches are on the way. Some of them are already out. The Mothership Core is here. The Mothership Core has seen that, and so he knows exactly what's going to be going on. There's a proxy pylon set up right here, which is a really good spot for it because you can warp in units down here, you can warp in units back here. Warping a couple things here is difficult for Zerglings to get a good surround on it if they are trying to kill it. But the army of HerO is going to be attacking up here. A roach has randomly burrowed there. Keep in mind, roaches, when they are burrowed, regenerate life at a much, much faster rate. So he will be regenerating that life really quickly. There he is, back at full health. There is actually quite a large Protoss army here. Zerg needs to be really careful. He needs to get out of that time warp so that his units are not all slowed by it. And he just needs to make more units, because at this point I do not believe he has enough to actually defend against this. The Spore Crawler is here, but Spore Crawlers only shoot at air, and the only thing air on the field for our player is going to be the Mothership Core, which can be taken out by just a couple of Queens. Anyways, anyway, the force fields are going to be trapping a few of these roaches. This is an insane number of force fields. Hatchery is going to go down. These drones are transferring away, trying to save themselves. Looks really funny when they're Warhounds, because you know that they're actually drones. Except that they have the Warhound portrait and skin. That's it. That's it. But there are going to be a lot of roaches down here now. If he gets a good engagement, this could be enough to finish it off. Although with the reinforcements coming in pretty constantly, I don't know if that's going to happen. And the Protoss player is at the 1 attack, which makes the Zealots and the Stalkers and pretty much everything Protoss has one heck of a lot better. Zerg's +1 is on the way, but it is not done. He needs to try and stall until that finishes, and he needs to hit this Protoss army in the timing between his 1 attack and the Protoss's 1 armor. That way their upgrades are going to be equal, and he holds a fairly good chance at pulling this off, but there is going to be a massive engagement here. Hiding DY. We're going to watch this battle as it unfolds. Force field has been used to block off that ramp. 1 attack nearly done for the Zerg player, but there are now Immortals and Void Rays on the field for Protoss, and so pretty much without anti-air without getting like hydras at this point. I don't know what Barcode is going to be able to do against this. Force fields are going to be trapping a lot of those roaches in the Protoss army, pretty much. Which is going to mean that all of them are going to be dead. Their friends are not going to be able to help them. Mothership Core is just raking in the damage. He is now 8 kills. He is a mentor. She is a mentor since it's a mothership. I should get that right. These Stalkers are now at 1-1, which means that Barcode's really kind of lost the timing for when he could engage this. But really, with the sentries here, with the force fields, he's going to need to do something like this. He's going to need to get this third way over here. He's going to need to actually keep it hidden, which is not going to happen. This probe is going to be seeing everything that's going on. He is going to get killed off by the queen. But a queen, where she can engage one stalker directly, she cannot engage this entire army. So she's not going to be able to defend that base. There is going to be a Nidus Worm coming out down here, which with the Protoss army engaged over here, this could actually be quite devastating. But there is nothing in it. There is actually nothing in that Nidus Worm. So that may have just been a distraction, but the Protoss army has now been cleaned up. This Void Ray, he has 1 kill, but it does not matter, because there is still actually quite a bit of stuff left for the Zerg player on the map. Now, I like what HerO is doing. He's going for the Colossus. He knows that pretty much everything that the Zerg has at this point is going to be roaches, which he has an absolutely absurd number of roaches. The Pylon is going to be cleaning up. The Mothership Core, once again, is just going to be raking in the damage, because there is nothing actually in this army that can shoot up. Colossus needs to get out of there or it's going to die. But if it can stay protected by this army, it will be able to just kill unit after unit after unit because of its splash damage. Now, Barcode has seen that HerO is going to be going for Colossus, and so he's going to be throwing down a Spire. This is probably going to be for Corruptors, because Corruptors are pretty good against Colossus since they do count as massive, and they do count as air units. They are, in fact, the only unit in the game, in case you guys didn't know, that counts as both a ground and an air unit. Well, at the same time. Vikings don't really count since they can't be both at the same time. Yeah, there's going to be a pretty large wave of drones coming in. Third base is going to be coming in for HerO, which would put his third, if he manages to get it saturated. Wait, there's 35 workers transferring over here. Where are they? Where are they? Here are the workers. That is so many drones. So many drones transferring over there. The main base of the Zerg player is going to be almost mined out. +2 attack is nearly complete, but there is going to be a massive engagement up here. It needs to actually retreat here. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do, and there's going to be the good game. HerO is going to be taking this game as well. And there's just a fountain of blood coming up from that. I think that was a creep tumor that exploded there. But I really like this out of HerO. He's saying, I'm going to go pretty much equal with a Zerg player in terms of macro. And I'm going to win that way. Because when you can see a Protoss player pulling something like that off, you can see him getting this absolutely massive army. With the Colossus, with the 2-1 Colossus, with the Immortals to take care of the Roaches, with this Mass Stalker to take care of these Corruptors, because keep in mind, these Stalkers do extra damage versus armored units, which the Corruptors are. If you can see the Protoss containing a Zerg, keeping Zerg on those 2 bases, keeping him on even 3, and managing to expand to his 3rd, just like we saw HerO do, then that really puts Protoss in a great position to be able to go and win that game, which is exactly what we saw in this situation. Another thing that I really like is going for the Void Rays, because this Void Ray, he has 2 kills, he doesn't really care. There is not much anti-air in the army of the Zerg player. There's only pretty much Queens, which have no classification, light or armored, and those Corruptors. And really, Corruptors are not very good against Void Rays because they are armored, and if the Void Ray were to activate their prismatic alignment ability, this makes them do +6 damage versus armored, added already to the 10, which makes them do 16 damage with a weapon speed of 0.5, which is absolutely absurd. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you leave a like, if you have a comment, feel free to leave that as well. And stay tuned for more StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, and other games coming soon.